You already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Now, some of the charges on Fat Joe have been dropped. The SA charges on Fat Joe have been dropped. Everybody want my take on the situation, so I'm going to give you my take. Just because charges was dropped doesn't mean Joe was innocent. Scooby-Dooby-Doo? Just because those charges was dropped, it doesn't mean that Joe was innocent. I mean, the reality of it is, let me give you an example. In the past, there was a situation where Joe, TA, and some of the terror squad was questioned about an assault on a girl, right? Make a long story short, according to TA, allegedly, and the female, Joe put his hands where he ain't had no business putting it in this young lady, allegedly. She jumps out of the car, runs to the bathroom, and climbs out the bathroom window to get away from them. She dials 911. Now, here's where TA messes up his credibility, right? Are y'all listening to me? Are you following me? When that 911 call was made and those police got there, TA lied to protect Joe. So now, we in the court. Will you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Now you got Joe coming in that courtroom with 7 Rock Nation lawyers. Some of the top of the top, some of the best lawyers. Joe coming in that courtroom with. And some of y'all might not know how the courts work, but I do. Once TA wrote a statement saying that this stuff never happened, defended Joe, he threw his credibility in the garbage. When he went and TA was wrong, but he was holding Joe down. When that girl screamed assault, TA lied to protect Joe. So now you got this same man coming in the courtroom and trying to accuse Joe of all the things that once upon a time when the police questioned him, he said never happened. And I know some of y'all are going to say TA is just as guilty as Fat Joe. I understand where y'all coming from, but I also understand the influence of the OG over the young G. I totally understand it. As far as this case goes, what I would say to Joe, it should have never came this far. Because the reality of it is, I don't think some of y'all guys out there, y'all realize that TA really looked up to Joe. That boy would have died for Joe. He loved Joe. He put in pain for Joe. He did anything that Joe asked him to do. So for Joe to end up going this far and ended up in the courtroom because Joe attacked TA first on social media and called him all types of bums, sofa surfers, just violated him. And when TA decides to respond back and get gritty and dirty and start talking and spilling Joe's tea all over the internet, Joe didn't like that. Joe thought that TA feared him. TA got frustrated and said enough is enough. So this is what led them to where they at right now. Personally, I don't think it should have went this far. I think Joe should have reached out to him and said, yo, you know what? Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. That's what he should have did. Now, part two of this case, like I said, I'm not. I don't know if you're paying attention or not, but this case is not over. Now Joe has to explain to the IRS whether he told the truth or whether he lied when he said he paid TA X amount of money, and TA saying that that never happened. He never got that money. So now the IRS is involved in this case. And there's other allegations. This case is not over. Am I saying that Joe is guilty? Nope. Am I saying he's innocent? I'm saying a bunch of niggas, like, come on, put it in the comment section. You know how many niggas we know beat homicide cases? We seen niggas catch bodies and they go to jail and they go to trial and it's not guilty, but they guilty as hell. So it is what it is. Let's stop with it. TA is not running around lying on Fat Joe and his image. This ain't the first time Joe ended up in court. Joe ended up in court with Big Pun's wife. And he lied about the outcome. He didn't take care of that woman. She had to sue him to get her rights back from that man. She had to sue him to get over decades worth of money that was just stacking up and piling, and Joe not taking care of her. The reality of it is, he did Pun. The legendary Pun. Pun's family dirty. Pun's family was living in the shelter, the homeless shelter, while Joe was collecting checks. Pun's wife, little Pun, his wife, was living in a homeless shelter. The only thing that she had was Big Pun's truck. At one point, she was living in my building with her cousin Rachel. And the only thing she had with her kids was Pun's truck. Joe left her for dead, starved her. And there ain't no alleged on that. I watched and seen that girl ain't had no business being homeless. So when dudes be sitting up there talking about victory or niggas, Hulk, I love you to death, my nigga. But don't nobody owe that foul nigga apology. Just sit back and analyze. All these years, nobody even knew who TA name was. And the funny part about it is, Fat Joe got other artists right now that got in situations with me. We done bump heads in the streets. And it could have went real, real bad. And that same nigga that stuck his chest out for Joe could have ended up either in the coffin or he could have ended up in jail for the rest of his life. But we don't see Joe pumping that nigga music. Yeah, I ran into the Terror Squad outside. I ran into one of Joe's artists outside. Nobody knows this nigga name. And it could have went bad. Real bad. So my question to Joe, where's his reward at? Oh, he ain't tell you I seen him? I ain't got to throw no names out there. Son ain't tell you I seen him, Joe? He ain't tell you we had words? Outside with that shit on. Nobody knows son's name. None of his music is being spun on the radio. He's not even being pushed on Joe's Instagram. When Percy died, word on the street, Percy was trying to get a job. He wanted to run Joe's store. He wanted a job. Word on the street? Well, let's just say, Joe, you talking about all your dudes living in mansions with swimming pools? So that means to tell me that, never mind, I ain't putting niggas' business out there. All your niggas ain't do well. I guess they piss boys then, huh? The ones that ain't living in the mansions, because some of them niggas ain't living in the mansions, and let's just say they're a little too old to be getting money the way that they getting money. They're a little too old. I'll leave it as that. Because I know more than what you think I know, and some of them Terror Squad niggas is doing bad. But when it come time for them niggas to step up and stick their chests out for Joe, they doing it. What's the reward for niggas running around the street and holding down Terror Squad? What's the reward? The projects? That's my take on the situation. Everybody that beat the case ain't innocent. And in this case right here, the reality of it is, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I want to see something bad happen to Joe in court. I don't want to see nothing bad happen to TA in court. I would rather see them niggas sit down at the table and say, yo, you know what? Let's talk this out and have a conversation. Because that's what the big homie's supposed to do with the little homie, right, Joe? It is what it is. That's my take on the situation. Joe ain't out of the hot water yet. Do I think Joe going to lose this case? No, I don't think Joe going to lose this case. He got lawyers that's heavy hitters. He got 7 lawyers to 1 lawyer. No, I don't think Joe going to lose this case. Is it a possibility he can lose it? Yes, there is. Should TA and Joe be in court with each other? No, they shouldn't. Because Joe's supposed to put his arm around his little homie and say, yo, I'm sorry for the way I did you. And then in return, TA can say, well, you know what I mean? Apology accepted. And I'm sorry for the way I did you too. I only reacted off of what you did to me. My words to TA out there, man. TA, keep your head up, my nigga. Keep your head up. It is what it is. Sometimes the world will be against you. But I ain't against you. That's my take on this situation. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button. Pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. I'm out.